Today let us discuss about the nitrogen fixation using Frankia. Frankia is the microorganism which are abundantly found in soil. These microorganisms form a symbiotic association with non-leguminous plants. These, like the rhizobium, they also fix the atmospheric nitrogen along with the symbiotic association with non-leguminous plants. Whereas the rhizobium fixes the atmospheric nitrogen with leguminous plants. Whereas Frankia fixes the atmospheric nitrogen along with non-leguminous plants. Frankia is an actinomyces. It is an actinomycet which has the characteristics of bacteria and as well as fungi. It is gram-positive organism. It is one of the gram-positive organisms. They play a very important role in an ecosystem, not just fixation of nitrogen, they also enhances plant growth, they enrich soil fertility, they help soil aggregation, etc. So these are some of the important features of Frankia. As we have discussed in my previous video, how does the nitrogen fixation takes place? Here you can see a non-leguminous plant. Example, Alchemist. Alchemist is the best example for non-leguminous plant. What happens, like rhizobium, these are Frankia. They reach the roots, especially the root hairs. And if you see the enlarged version of this root hair, these freely available Frankia comes in close proximity with root hair and they try to invade into this root hair, and during which there is a formation of infection tube. This infection tube gives a pathway for Frankia to enter. Once it reaches the cortex shell of the roots, they try to form nodules, root nodules. These root nodules, which contains the microorganism, secretes nitrogenous enzyme. This nitrogenous enzyme is said to be oxygen sensitive. In the presence of oxygen, it doesn't show activity. It also requires cofactors like cobalt and molybdenum. So this was the complete introduction and the mechanism of nitrogen fixation. So now we have discussed about the symbiotic association of Frankia and rhizobium, which fixes the atmospheric nitrogen. Along with this, we also have free living microorganisms. These free living microorganisms presents are present in the soil and they does not or do not form any kind of symbiosis or symbiotic relationship with any plants, but still they are capable of fixing nitrogen. So how do they fix the nitrogen? Some of the examples are Azotobacter, Klebsiella, Clostridium, etc. What they do? Similar like Frankia and Rhizobium. They convert the nitrogen into ammonia. This is much usable form for the plants. Coming back to taking the example of Azotobacter, this is aerobic microorganism and they are found in soil, especially rhizospheric soil. What is this rhizospheric soil? It is a soil, if just imagine that this is a plant and this is the root. It's a soil present across the roots and this area is called as rhizosphere. So these are abundantly present in a rhizospheric soil. Along with this you have Klebsiella, Clostridium, and Clostridium is an anaerobic microorganism. These are some of the free-living microorganisms which has the capacity to fix atmospheric nitrogen. Let us see how this atmospheric nitrogen is fixed. What is the mechanism of, what are the important features required to fix the atmospheric nitrogen? Let us see with the help of formulation. Now let us see how nitrogen is converted into ammonia. Here you can see, in order to fix the nitrogen, we require 6 protons, 6 electrons and 8 ATPs. What happens? It consumes 6 protons and 6 electrons along with the energy. ATP is nothing but the energy, which converts it into ammonia. This ammonia along with this hydrogen is produced, 8 ADPs are produced and 8 inorganic phosphate are produced. In order to convert the nitrogen into ammonia, these are the factors which play a very important role. This is carried out by microorganisms. As we discussed, Azotobacter. One of the important features of Azotobacter is that it is an aerobic microorganism or aerobic bacteria. But in order to convert nitrogen to ammonia, they secrete nitrogenase enzyme. But this enzyme is highly sensitive to oxygen, which means in the presence of oxygen level, it does not carry out nitrogen fixation. Hence, the Azotobacter try to fix atmospheric nitrogen during micro aerophilic condition, which means during a limited amount of oxygen, the nitrogen is fixed into ammonia. So my dear students, with this we have come to a conclusion of the use of rhizobium as biofertilizer, use of Frankia as biofertilizer, use of azotobacter as biofertilizer. These are the three major or important species present in the soil, and here these two forms a symbiotic relationship with plants in order to carry out nitrogen fixation, whereas this is free living, which does not have any kind of symbiotic association with plant, but still they are capable of secreting nitrogenous enzyme which converts nitrogen into ammonia. So based on these characteristics, all these three organisms are used as